Okay, it looks like we finally made it. A couple of tries, and YouTube gave me errors. But hopefully this time, it seems anyway, that we are back. So it's not one thing, it's another. But I tried twice in a row, and YouTube kept telling me live stream not available right now. I couldn't figure out why. So it was a little frustrating. In fact, my ceremonial first sip was getting cold. I was waiting so long to try to put this on. And YouTube finally decided to let me on. I don't know what the deal was, but we're here. I guess that's the most important part. And we're at the second game on July the 7th, Tuesday, July the 7th, 1987. Of course, married up with Tuesday in August of 2026. Game number 570 on the replay, Yankee Stadium. Singles are 1-7 each, but lefties and righties on home runs differ by 1, 9 to 8 lefty and righty. Minnesota comes to this game 39-44. Yankees come to this game 46-37. And starting pitchers for each team, Joe Niekro for the Twins and Tommy John for the Yankees. We'll look at Niekro later. Right now, focus on Tommy John since he is the first pitcher that is to be used. I actually physically had to not just shut down YouTube, but to actually restart the whole computer. That was the only way it was going to, if something in there had to reset, I guess, in YouTube to let me stream, because it kept giving me the unable to stream, live stream right now, error message. So it's very frustrating. I was a little bit squeamish about even putting this one out there because I thought I was going to get the same message, but hopefully that didn't come to fruition. But anyway, third, they always say third time's a charm, so I guess that was the case here. All right, let's look at Tommy John and his record, Real World, 1987. Tommy John, Real World, was 13-6 with a 4.03 ERA. On the replay, Tommy John is 4-4 with a 3.76 ERA, 103 innings, 112 innings, 112 hits rather, 31 walks, 35 strikeouts. He's a wild pitch rating of 10. His balk's a 0. He has a 0 hold, but Mark Salas is a +2, so that makes him a +2 hold in the overall scheme of things. And a little bit interesting lineup for the Twins in this one. Kirby Puckett is doing the designated hitting, so they have Mark Davidson in center field. And then with the lefty on the mound, Herbeck has dropped a couple of spots in the order. I think everything else is pretty much standard for the other two teams, for everybody else. So it looks like we are ready to get going here. Dan Gladden hitting 231 on the replay, 5 homers, 22 driven in. He hit 249 Real World. And as aforementioned, before the first pitch is thrown, we have the ceremonial first sip. I'm telling you, the ceremonial first sip coffee is getting a little cool because it's been sitting here. It's been sitting here waiting for YouTube to get its act together and let me do what I want to do. Finally, it came around, and we're ready to go. Here's Dan Gladden. 6'8", and that's going to be a 1-6 double. 7-20 will be a single. So leadoff single for Dan Gladden. He's already going to look to run with that +2 hold from Tommy John. So Gladden needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get the good lead. And he doesn't get it, so he's going to end up holding. Hello, Dr. D. On my third try today, this morning, YouTube's giving me issues. I had to actually restart the computer. It's the only way it seemed to fix it. So Mark Davidson playing center field in this one. And he's hitting 213 on the replay, 1 homer, 10 driven in. He hit 267 Real World. That's a 2-6, and that's going to be a walk. So all of a sudden, Niekro Tommy John getting himself into trouble. First two are on, nobody out, and the big boys coming up. Here's Kirby Pucket, designated hitter in this one. Pucket is hitting 318 on the replay. 12 homers, 42 driven in, hit 332 Real World. It's a 3-8, and that's a strikeout. Big strikeout for Tommy John. One away now. A double play would get him out of the inning. Here comes Gary Gaetti. And Gaetti does have some ground ball A's on his card. He is susceptible to the double play ball. Gaetti on the replay hitting 274, 18 homers, 70 driven in. He hit 257 real world. It's a 6-7, and that's ground ball second base X. This could be a double play. We'll find out. Randolph's a 2E17. 2 and 12. That might just be a G2, though. Let's see. 2 and 12. 2 and 12, and up actually a G1. So this is potential double play. He's an E17. So second base, E17, he's got to avoid 3, 6, 15, and 18. And he does. So it will be a double play, a Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play to get Tommy John out of the inning. 463 Giovanni's Tailor Shop, Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're in that area and you have tailoring needs, be sure to stop by and see them. Tell them Memo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They're the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play of the game. And we get it right here in the first inning. And Tommy John needed it as well. So sure he was happy about that as could be. All right, Joe Niekro. Going to start things off here for the Twins. He was 7-13 with a 5.33 ERA real world. And check his numbers on the replay. On the replay, he's 3-5 with a 4.65 ERA. 72 innings pitched, 79 hits, 36 walks, 50 strikeouts. He's got an 18 wild pitch, probably because of the knuckleball. No balk. But he's a +5 hold. Niekro is a +8, so it didn't matter who the catcher was. You're going to be a +5. Gardner happened to be a 0, but it's still going to be a +5 on the hold. And leading off for the Yankees, of course, is Rickey Henderson, left fielder. He will start us off. Rickey on the replay. Whoops, wrong button. Rickey on the replay is hitting 336, 13 homers, 36 driven in. He hit 291 on the real season. 2-7 for Rickey, and he grounds it to short. Greg Gagne. One away. And I've already kind of just preliminary, can't say the word right. I took an early look at the league stats, trying to see if I can figure out who the all-star team might be for the American League. And there are some tough choices, I'm telling you. There are some, just look at the numbers. There's 3 or 4 guys that are vying for 2 spots, and they're all deserving. So it's going to be some tough choices to be made. That is for certain. All right, so Rickey is out, and that's a good job by Niekro. If you want to keep the Yankees at bay, you keep Rickey off the bases. Here's Willie Randolph, 271 average on the replay, 4 homers, 31 driven in. He at 305 real world. 6-6. That's a fly ball to left, and Dan Gladden puts that away, 2 down. And that'll bring up Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly. Mattingly's probably not going to be on the All-Star team because his numbers just aren't good enough in this replay. He's decent, but I believe there are other first basemen ahead of him. On the replay, he's hitting 308, 11 homers, 40 driven in. But there, like I said, I have to look at the numbers. But, I mean, he might make it. We'll see. But nobody's guaranteed a spot, that's for sure. Just because you made it in the real world doesn't mean you're guaranteed in this replay to make the All-Star team. Got to perform on the field. 410. Reputation won't cut it. Fly ball to center. Davidson makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. Joe Niekro, a fine first inning. Takes care of the Yankees in short order. We go to second inning. No score from the stadium. And due up for the Twins will be Tom Brunansky. Not to be confused with Tom Emansky, who makes those instructional videos. Brunansky is hitting 281 on the replay, 14 homers, 41 driven in at 259 real world. Against the lefty Tommy John, 1-2 is a Lomax plus injury. So Tom Brunansky could be injured here. He lines it to third. Tagliarulo snags it for the out. But now we're going to check to see if Brunansky twins something in his back. He may have to come out. And it's a 1-6. He stays in the game. 7-20. He has to come out. And he's got to come out. So the Twins will need a new right fielder. And most likely they'd love to go to Randy Bush, but he's left-handed. And he doesn't really get a whole lot of playing time against lefties. Let's see what they might want to do here. This might be a tough call right off the get-go, because your normal replacement's in center field. So they may have to be a little creative here. They may just have to go with Bush and be done with it. Or let's see what they might want to do. No, they really can't. You mess up. You don't want to ruin like 3 or 4 guys and put them out of position. So we're just going to go with Randy Bush. I know it's not preferable, but you got to do what you got to do. Randy Bush is going to take over in right field in the second inning due to the injury by Brunansky. So tough injury there for Bruno. Brings up Kent Hrbek. Hrbek is hitting 287 on the replay, 19 homers, 56 driven in. He hit 265 real world. I believe it was 265. 285 real world, I'm sorry. 285 real world, 287 on the replay, so that's pretty good. Lefty, 4-3 is a walk. So Tommy John will issue his second walk as Hrbek reaches. No threat to run, though, so he won't go anywhere. Here is Tim Laudner. That is a 610, and that is an in-home run chance, 1-2. Double is a 3-20. Chance for Laudner to put the Twins on the board. That's a double to center field. I don't know if Hrbek will try to score or not. Let's find out. He's an 11. Not being held makes him a 12. The double is assumed to go to center. Claudel Washington's a -1 arm drop to an 11. So I think they're going to hold Hrbek at third base. So we got second and third, 1 out for Steve Lombardozzi. Lombardozzi on the replay hitting 245. 3 homers, 18 driven in. He hit 238 real world. John, and the Yankees are going to play the infield in. They want to try to choke that runoff. 4-7, and that's a single 2-star, so it won't matter. Lombardozzi, a 2-run single. Twins lead 2-0. 2-run single for Steve Lombardozzi. Those are RBIs 19 and 20 on the replay. He had 38 RBI real world. But on this one, that 4-7 was a single 2 stars, which is what he needed. And he is aboard. 2-0 Twins. I'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Greg Gagne, and he is definitely an all-star candidate. He's hitting 352 on the replay. 9 homers, 42 driven in. I don't know how you keep a guy hitting 352 off the all-star team. He's almost got to be there. He only hit 265 real world, so he's really been an overperformer. There's a 1-5, and that's going to be a fly to left. 2 away. Back to the top of the order for Dan Gladden. Five 3 for Gladden against Tommy John. It's a ground ball pitcher X. Tommy John is a 3E38. 3E38 for a pitcher. 3 and an 8. That part shouldn't be a problem. The E38 is going to be the problem. 3 and an 8 is a G3, but the E38, he's got a lot of numbers here to avoid. We're just going to roll and see what happens. That's a 10. All right, E38 and a 10 is right here. So it's a 1 base error. 1 base error on Tommy John, and the inning will continue. So John muffles it. Keeps the inning going. Clutch situation now for Davidson. And in the clutch against the lefties, he'll gain a hit 110 and also another hit 3-2. 3-7, and that's a strikeout. Second for Tommy John, but the 2-run single from Lombardozzi gives the Twins a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second. And now Randy Bush will have to be brought in on the Strat computer as the new right fielder for Bernansky. So let's get that done before we forget to do it. Randy Bush. All right. Mr. May, Dave Winfield will lead things off against Joe Niekro. Winfield hitting 263 on the replay, 19 homers, 53 driven in. He hit 275 real world, so obviously he will not be at the All-Star game. 4-5, and that's a double 1-4, single 5-20. And that's a single for Winfield, leadoff single. Winfield's going to be looking to get a lead. He needs a 4 or a 6 to get the good lead. If he gets a 10, he's caught. That's an 8, so he doesn't get the good lead. So 1 away, or 1 on, nobody out for Claudell Washington. Claudell Washington hitting 301 on the replay, 3 homers, 23 driven in. He hit 279 real world. 1-5, and that's going to be a walk. First walk issued by Niekro. First and second, nobody out. Back come the Yankees. Here comes the hitman, Mike Easler, designated hitter. Easler hitting 273 on the replay, 1 homer, 4 driven in. He hit 281 real world. Came over from Philadelphia mid-season. 2-5, and he's going to strike out. First strikeout for Niekro. Trying to get that knuckleball working. 1 away for Pags, Mike Pagliarulo. He's hitting 242 on the replay, 21 homers, 45 driven in. He hit 234 in the real season. That's a 2-5, and that's a ground ball first base B. So Herbeck will go to second to force Claudell Washington, but no return throw. Just take the out at second. Winfield does go to third. Pagliarulo safe at first, 2 down. And now it's up to former Twin Mark Salas to try to come through in the clutch. And Salas in the clutch against right-handed pitching. Loses 1 hit on a 1-5. Everywhere else he is neutral. That is a 1-2, and that's a low max, and that's going to end the inning. No double play as there were already 2 outs, but it could have been. And Niekro pitches around the 2 leadoff base runners and keeps the score right where it is at 2-0 Twins. Tommy John back out will face Pucket, Gaetti, and Randy Bush. Pucket, his first time up, was actually a strikeout victim. Get my coffee out of the way. I don't want it to spill on the cards. Pucket. 1-5, and that's a solid home run. That is clean as a baby's behind, as someone once said. 1-5 for Pucket against the lefty. That's a home run, no question about it. Kirby Pucket. Pucket with the home run to lead off the 3rd inning. And for Pucket, that is home run number 13 on the replay. He had 28 of them real world, so about halfway there. So he's on a pretty good pace. He's on about halfway done his home runs, and we're about halfway into the season. So that's a pretty good pace for Pucket. RBI number 43 to go with that 13th home run. Twins lead at 3-0. And here is Gary Gaetti. 1-6 for Gaetti. Ground ball to third. Pagliarulo is there. 1 away. And now we'll get Randy Bush up for the first time. Bush only faced lefties 3% of the time, but maybe this is part of the 3%. I don't know. Bush on the replay hitting 260, 3 homers, 17 driven in. He hit 253 real world. 6-8, and that's a 1-14 single. 15-20, he will line out. And that's a line out to Willie Randolph, out number 2. For Kent Herbeck. Herbeck, first time up, drew a walk and scored. 4-7, and this time he grounds it to Tollison, rather. So at short, 2E20 for, I'm sorry, 3E22 for Tollison. I was thinking of somebody else for some reason. 3E22, 3 and an 8 is good. E22 at short, he's got to avoid 6, 15, 17, and 18. 6, 15, 17, and 18, which he does. So Tollison makes the play to end the inning, but the home run from Pucket gives the Twins a 3-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the third here at the stadium. Niekro out, and we'll face the number 9 hitter, Wayne Tollison. Tollison, shortstop, number 9 hitter, switch hitter. Hitting 221 on the replay, 3 homers, 21 driven in, and he hit 221 real world. That's a 6'5" switch hitter. That's a fly ball to left. Dan Gladden will put it away. 1 away for Ricky. Tomorrow, by the way, we'll be in Cleveland. It'll be the Kansas City Royals taking on the Cleveland Indians. Ken Schramm for the Indians against Mark Gubaza for the Royals. That'll be tomorrow from the Mistake by the Lake. Here is Ricky. 2-7. And that's a single 1-6. Line out 7-20. And he will line it out to Gagne. Out number 2 for Willie Randolph. It's a 2-4 for Randolph. He grounds it to Mr. Gaetti at third, and it's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Joe Niekro. We go to the fourth. Still 3-0 Twins. Due up for Minnesota, bottom of the order, Laudner, Lombardozzi, and Gagne. Laudner hit a double in the first time up and scored. 5-9, and this time he will pop it up to Mattingly. And that's 1 away. For Lombardozzi, he had the 2-run single his first time up that brought in those 2 runs. 6-5. This time it's a split. 1's a single. Anything else, he lines it to Tollison. And that's a 1, so he got a base hit. Boy, when you're living right, you're living right. 5% chance and you get the base hit. And now Lombardozzi's going to try to steal. Or will he? No, he won't. I take it back. Well, he might. +2. He's going to try for that lead. If he can get that 7, if he can get that 4, he's got a good chance. Doesn't get it, though, so he'll hold. And here's Greg Gagne. 1-7 for Gagne. Struck him out. Second, or actually third strikeout for Niekro, or for Tommy John. The old guys look alike to me. So Gagne out on strikes for 2 away, and Dan Gladden is up. Gladden is 1 for 2. He singled and reached on a Tommy John error. 2-8, and this time he's going to get a base hit. 1-19 is a double. Anything else is a single. 2 stars, so Lombardozzi can only go to third at best. So it is a double for Dan Gladden. Second and third now with 2 outs for Mark Davidson in a clutch situation. And Davidson in the clutch against lefties will gain a hit, 1-10 and 3-2. Tommy John has to bear down. 4-5, and he does. Gets him to pop up to Randolph, and that will take care of the Twins in the fourth. Score remains 3-0 Minnesota as we head to the bottom of the fourth. And now Mattingly will start us off. O-Matic Baseball. Mattingly flew to center his first chance. (5-9), and that's going to be a ground ball to Lombardozzi. 1 away. For Dave Winfield. 4-4, and that's a 1-6 triple. 7-20 is a double. That is a 6. Winfield. He had 1 triple on the replay on the real season, and this is his first triple on the replay, so we'll certainly allow it. Dave Winfield puts one in the gap for a triple, and he's at third base with only 1 out. First triple of the replay, and that's all he had in the real world as well was 1 triple. But he's on third with 1 out for Claude Washington. Infield for the Twins. They're going to play back. They're leading 3-0. They don't want to. They'll give up the 1 run. They don't want to give up multiple runs. 1-4, and that's a ground ball second base A, and that will score the run. So Winfield comes in on the RBI ground out from Claudel Washington, cuts the lead to 3-1. Now 2 outs and the bases are cleared for Mike Easler. 5-12, and that's a ballpark blast from Mike Easler. Easler 1-9, and this will be a 1-run ball game. And it is. Mike Easler goes deep with the ballpark blast. For Easler, that is his second home run of the replay. He had 4 real world and limited duty. But he got it there on that ballpark blast with the rolling the 1 on the D20. So it's now 3-2 as the Yankees are climbing back in this thing. 3-2, and here's Pagliarulo. 3-12 for Pags, a split. 1-8's a single. 9-20 he lines out, and he will line it right to Lombardozzi. But the Yankees put a pair on the board and cut the lead to 3-2 as we head to the 5th. Maybe some hope and some life in that Yankee dugout. They were pretty lethargic the first couple of innings, but they seem to have perked up a little bit. Here's Kirby Puckett. Start the 4th. 6-11. I start the 5th rather. 6-11, and that's a ballpark single check, which is a 1-7 for Puckett. And he will end up lining to Tollison for out number 1. Brings up the G-man, Gary Gaetti. 2-12 for Gaetti. That's a ballpark blast. 1-8 for Gary Gaetti to go deep. And he does not. Couldn't quite get all of it. Just a deep fly to Ricky in left field. 2 up, 2 down, and that brings up Randy Bush. 5-8, and that's a pop-up to Randolph at second base to end the inning. So 1-2-3 inning for Tommy John. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still 3-2. Favor the Twins. Do it for the Yanks. It'll be the bottom of the order: Salas, Tollison, and then Henderson. Against Niekro. Both pitchers' fatigue number is next inning, the 6th inning. Keep an eye on that for next inning. Salas 6-7. Ground ball shortstop X, that is Gagne. He's a 2E24 is Gagne. 2-5. I don't think that'll be an issue. It will not. He'll get to it. The E24 at short. He's got to avoid 4, 6, 15, 17, and 18. And 14, I think he's okay with that. Let me double check it. E24. Yeah, 15's the error, not 14. So he's okay with that. Gagne will make the play. Salas is out. 1 away for Wayne Tollison, shortstop. 2-6 for Tollison. Struck him out. And for Niekro, that is only strikeout number 2. But 2 up, 2 down for Ricky. Ricky's 0 for 2. 5-2. That's a fly to left. Make him 0 for 3. And that's a very quick bottom of the 5th for the Yankees. We go to the top of the 6th. Still 3-2. And this is the fatigue inning for both starting pitchers. So definitely needs to be monitored for fatigue, possibly. Here's Kent Herbeck to start us off. 5-9, and that's a line out right to Mattingly. And the Gold Glover snags it. One away. Here's Tim Laudner. 6-6. That's a ground ball shortstop X. Tollison. 3 E22. 3 and 13 is good. The E22 again has to avoid 6, 15, 17, and 18, which he does. So Tollison makes the play. 2 up, 2 down for Lombardozzi. 2 for 2 in the game. 3-12, and now he's got a low max plus injury, so now Lombardozzi may have to leave this game. We'll roll for him. He lined it to Pagliarulo, and now he might be leaving this game. Might have to bring in Al Newman to play short. Let's see, 1-6, or play second. 1-6, he can stay in the game. He does not, so he will come out. Second Twin to have to leave the game, and they will be bringing in Al Newman to play second base. So Newman will take over. So Newman will take over and play second base in the 6th inning. Al Newman. So we'll bring in Al Newman on the computer to replace Lombardozzi. Bench players remaining for Minnesota now. Roy Smalley, Gene Larkin, and backup catcher Sal Butera. Those are the 3 guys left on the bench. All right, so Niekro out. Will pitch the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Randolph, Mattingly, and Winfield due up for the Yankees. 3-2 Twins. Good one going here at Yankee Stadium. 6-5, and that is a line out right to the new second baseman, Newman. I tell you, bring a new fielder in, the ball will find them. Newman snags it. 1 away, and that's going to bring up O-Matic Baseball. He's 0 for 2. 5-9, and that is a ground ball to second. And again, it's hit right to Newman, the new second baseman. 2 up, 2 down for Winfield. He has singled and tripled. 1-6 for Winfield. He will walk this time. Niekro kind of pitching too carefully there. Second walk of the day for Niekro. And Winfield's going to try to get a good lead with that +5 hold. That looks awful tempting. So he's going to try for the lead. 4 or a 6. He gets a 6, he's going to go. So Winfield's going to attempt to steal. He's a 13, being held as an 11. But then the +5 makes him a 16. So 1-16, he'll steal it. And he does. Stolen base for Winfield. Winfield didn't have a lot of stolen bases, I don't believe, but we'll check it out on the computer and see how many he had real world versus replay. When you don't have an asterisk, I don't usually like to steal you that much, but when you get that +5, sometimes you got to take a chance on it. Winfield in the real season stole 5 bases, got caught 6 times. On the replay, this will be his 4th steal, and he's yet to be caught. So I guess that's why Strat-O-Matic has his 10 here. If you roll a 10, you automatically get caught. So, but so far, Winfield's been pretty selective in when he tries to steal, and he's made it every time. He's in scoring position for Claudell Washington. He is the tying run. Claudell in the clutch gains a hit, 1-6. 3-10 and 3-6. So by stealing, you improve Claudell Washington's batting average quite a bit. 3 extra hits on there. 2-7, but this time he finds a strikeout, and that will end the inning. So Niekro pitches around the walk and stolen base. We go to the top of the 7th. Both pitchers have pretty much full endurance into the 7th inning of a 3-2 game. And leading off for the Twins will be Mr. Greg Gagne. He's 0 for 2. Fly to left and struck out. 3-8 for Gagne, and he will get a base hit. Leadoff single for Greg Gagne. See if he's looking to run. He needs a 2 through 6 to get a lead. In 8, he's caught stealing. That's an 11, so he's got a hold. And back to the top of the order for Dan Gladden. 5-4. Ground ball third base X. This could be a double play chance. Pagliarulo's a 2E20. 2 and a 14 is probably an E1, a G1. And it is. So it is a double play opportunity as long as there's no error. Pagliarulo in E20 has to only avoid 11, 14, and 15. If he can do that, it's a double play. And we roll a 14, so he couldn't avoid it. So he's so pumped up to make the double play, he boots it. So an E20 third baseman, the 14 is sitting right here in the middle. So that's a huge error on Pagliarulo. Instead of a double play, 2 outs, base is empty, we got runners first and second, nobody out, and Tommy John is not a happy camper. Neither is Lou Piniella, for that matter. Tags is kicking himself. Now here's Mark Davidson. 3-5 for Davidson, and that's a walk, and that's going to load the bases. Now all of a sudden the Yankee bullpen starts to stir. As that error may have thrown Tommy John off his game. Bases are loaded now for Kirby Puckett. Look at the Yankee bullpen, see who might be loosening over there. It looks like Tim Stoddard is. Loosening in the Yankee bullpen. Bases loaded, nobody out for Kirby Puckett. Not where you want to be as a pitcher. Yankees are going to play back for a double play. They got to have outs. They can afford to give up 1 run, but they can't afford to give up 3 or 4. That's a 2. Could be a balk or pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball chance on Salas, which is a 14. So it's a good chance this could be a pass ball. And it will be. So pass ball will score the run. Pass ball on Salas. That takes the double play out of the equation. That does a lot of damage. Now the infield will have to come in. Second and third, nobody out. They will bring the infield in for Puckett, unless they want to intentionally walk Puckett, but that's a dangerous proposition. They'll play the infield in. 2-11 for Puckett. That's a ground ball pitcher A, so that's going to freeze everybody at second and third. So they'll hold tight for Gary Gaetti. And they will intentionally walk Gary Gaetti to load the bases and face the left-hander Bush. Or left-hander Herbeck and then Bush. No, Bush then Herbeck. My bad. 2 lefties coming up, Bush and Herbeck. So they're going to have Tommy John, but he's got to be on his control. No place to put Mr. Bush. Infield's back for a double play. You're back for the double play with the bases loaded and 1 out. 5-9. That's a liner right to Mattingly for out number 2. So now he just has to get Kent Herbeck to get out of the mess and keep it to a 1-run inning. Keep his team in the game. This could be the game right here. Either blow it open or Tommy John keeps it close. This is his last batter either way. If he gets the out, then the 8th inning he'll start with somebody else. If he doesn't get the out, Stoddard's coming right in. That is a 6-8 lefty, and that's a 1-14 single. 15-20, Randolph will snag it. And that's a base hit, and that's going to be it for Tommy John. It's a 1-star single. Scoring is Gladden. Everybody else moves up a base. Keep the bases loaded. But Tommy John is out of here, and Tim Stoddard will be coming on. RBI single from Kent Herbeck gives the Twins now a 5-2 lead as we have a pitching change at the stadium. It says Tommy John is tired on the computer, but that doesn't matter. We're taking him out anyway. And we're going to Tim Stoddard out of the bullpen. Look at Stoddard's numbers on the replay, or on the real world, rather. Tim Stoddard, real world, 1987, was 4-3 with a 3.50 earned run average. He also had 8 saves. On the replay, he is 6-4, 7 ERA and 1 save, 59 innings pitched, 49 hits, 15 walks, 57 strikeouts. And he'll be facing Tim Laudner. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Whoop, that one went over the edge. Let's redo that. There we go. 6-11. Ground ball pitcher X. Stoddard is a 3E16. 3-3. Ooh, that's tough. 3-3 might be trouble. Let's find out. 3-3 is trouble. That's a single, 1 star. So that's going to be a base hit. Checking now for E16. And E16 and a 9 for a pitcher. And a 9 right here is a 1 base error on Stoddard. So it's going to be a single plus a 1 base error. So second error of the inning on the Yankees. Scoring is Davidson. Scoring is Gaetti. Going to third is Herbeck. Twins now with 4 runs in the inning. Blown this thing open to 7-2. And now the 9th man to bat in the inning is Al Newman. These are some self-inflicting wounds going on. Yankees are inflicting themselves with these mistakes. And Newman now, his first at bat since coming in for the injured Lombardozzi. Newman's hitting 270 on the replay, no homers, 12 driven in. He had 221 real world. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. 2-4, and he's going to ground it back to Stoddard to end the inning. But a 4-score Abraham Lincoln inning for the Twins, and they have pretty much taken control of the game now. It is 7-2 as we head to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch time, and the Yankee fans are not going to be happy about stretching right about now, as they've seen their team kind of fall apart defensively. 3 errors by the Yankees in this game. 2 of them came in the 7th inning. 2 of them by pitchers. And the happiest guy is Joe Niekro. Now he's got a cushion to work with, and he'll be facing the hitman Mike Easler. 2-6 for Easler, and that's a walk. That's the last thing he wanted to do, was walk people. But Easler is aboard on the leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Pagliarulo. His error really opened the door. That should have been a double play and probably would have kept the Twins from even scoring a run, period. So you got to figure he's looking for some redemption here. 3-9. Could get it. A 1-4 is a triple, but not likely. 5-20 is a fly to right. And that's exactly what he ends up with, a fly to right. 1 down as Randy Bush makes the catch, and here's Mark Salas. That's a 1-9 for Salas. Struck him out. Strikeout number 4. And that brings up Wayne Tollison with 2 outs and a runner at first. Tollison, 0 for 2. That's a 3-11, and that's a split. 1-13 is a single. Anything else, 14-20, he lines out, and that's a base hit, 1 star. Keeps the inning going for Ricky Henderson. Still a clutch situation by rule. So Ricky in the clutch will lose some hits, 110, 2-5, and 2-6. That's a 4-9, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases. 4th walk issued by Niekro. Bases are loaded, 2 outs for Willie Randolph in the clutch. Randolph in the clutch gains 1 hit, 1-3. Everything else he is neutral. Yankees with their best chance to try to make hay here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Niekro is tired, but they're going to let him pitch to Randolph at least and try to get out of this inning. But if he hits a dot, he's got to come out. 6-9, and he's going to get him to pop it up to Gaetti, and the Yankees will leave him loaded. And that's kind of in a nutshell, what's going on with the Yankees in this game. They're just not performing. They're leaving bases loaded. They're committing errors, doing all sorts of things that losing teams do. And we go to the top of the 8th. And Stoddard will not come back out. They wanted somebody to eat some innings, so they're going to bring in Charles Hudson to eat some innings. They want to save Stoddard perhaps for a more high leverage situation tomorrow. And he can come back tomorrow because they only faced 2 batters in this one. So he goes a third of an inning, gives up a hit, nothing else. Go to the box score and get the numbers on Tommy Johns. I forgot to wrap him up. Tommy John's going to go 6 2/3. He's going to give up 8 hits, 7 runs, only 3 of which are earned. Walks 4, strikes out 3. So Charles Hudson, part-time starter, part-time reliever, right now is in his relieving mode. And he'll be in to face Greg Gagne. And his job is just to pitch 2 innings and save the rest of the bullpen. That's pretty much cut and dry what his job is right now. So we bring him in on the computer to replace Stoddard and get his numbers on the replay as well as real world. Hudson on the replay. Hudson is 11-7, 3.61 ERA. Mostly starts, but some relief appearances. On the replay, 6-3 with a 3.22 ERA, 73 innings pitched, 52 hits, 28 walks, and 56 strikeouts. And he'll start out facing the number 9 hitter, Greg Gagne. 4-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Willie Randolph, 2E17. 218 is good. E17. E17 and a 9 shouldn't be a problem at all. And it is not. 6 is the error, not 9. So Gagne makes the play, or Randolph makes the play on Gagne. 1 away for Dan Gladden. 4-5, and that's a pop out to Pagliarulo. 2 down for Mark Davison. 2-3, and that is a pop out to Pagliarulo again. So 1-2-3 inning turned in by Charles Hudson. And the Twins go quietly in the 8th, but they still maintain a pretty dominant 7-2 lead. And the Twins will bring in a new pitcher for Joe Niekro. Niekro's day is done. We'll get the numbers on Niekro. Let's get his numbers. He's going to go 7 innings, giving up the 2 runs, which were earned. Let's see. I won't even need a computer. Let's go do it manually. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only gave up 4 hits. He did walk 4, struck out 4. The question is now, who's going to come in and pitch for the Twins? Well, it's a 7-2 game, so you can pretty much bring in whoever you want. They're going to go to Juan Berenguer because he can finish the game. He's got enough juice to pitch the 2 innings. So Juan Berenguer will be coming on for the Twins. Get the numbers on Berenguer. See how he's doing. Juan Berenguer, 8-1, 3.94 ERA with 4 saves on the real season. On the replay, he's 3-2 with 1 save, a 3.57 ERA, 71 innings pitched, 67 hits, 28 walks, and 74 strikeouts. So Juan Berenguer will be on to face Donnie Baseball to start things off. 7-2 Twins. Yankees have played like the Bad News Bears today. 4-8 Lefty struck him out, manually out on strikes. One down for Dave Winfield. Oh, that one went over the edge. Let's redo that. There we go. 1-7 for Winfield, and he strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Berenguer to start the 8th. Brings up Claudel. 5-11, and that's a ballpark blast for Claudel Washington on the 5-11. Ballpark blast, 1-9. But it's going to be a deep fly to right, and it's been that kind of game for the Yankees. Any chance they have just seems that they pick the wrong thing, or the wrong thing happens to them. We go to the 9th. It'll be Pucket, Gaetti, and Bush, 2 up for the Twins. Pucket, Gaetti, and Bush. 6-7 for Pucket, and that's a strikeout from Charles Hudson. 1 away. So 1 down, and that's going to take us to Gary Gaetti. Randy Bush on deck. 6-8, and that's another strikeout for Hudson. Might have been the same role, I don't remember. And here's Randy Bush. Finally gets to bat against a right-handed pitcher. 6-4, grounds it to Pagliarulo. 2-E20, 2-16, but that E20 could be a little difficult. That's a 6, E20 and a 6. Pagliarulo's already made 1 big error. E20, no 6 there, though, so Pagliarulo will make the play. And that will take care of Randy Bush and the Twins in the 9th. So Hudson's going to go 2 perfect innings. Good sign for him if they can get Hudson working in the bullpen. Could help them out quite a bit. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Yankees. They trail it by 5. And Berenguer will be back out, and he'll be facing Easler, Pagliarulo, and probably a pinch hitter for Salas. Look at the Yankee bench. Although I think all their pinch hitters are right-handed. They are. Looks like they're going to have Ron Kittle come up and pinch hit for Salas. So it'll be Easler, Pagliarulo, and Kittle. Ron Kittle. But first things first, it is the hitman Mike Easler with a chance. His 2-run home, or his solo home run. Actually, no, take 2-run home run is the only thing the Yankees have going for them. 1-9, and that is a single base hit. Good morning, Jason. Good to see you. I was beginning to wonder what was going on out there. I didn't see anything in the chat at all for almost the entire games. Just hoping people were still out there. All right, here's Pagliarulo. 1-7 for Pag, struck him out. That's the 3rd strikeout for Berenguer. And now the pinch hitter, Ron Kittle, will come in for Mark Salas to hit for Salas. Get the numbers on Kittle. I take that back. Kittle's not even on the roster. So we can't use Kittle. We're going to use Gary Ward instead. I didn't check my roster to see that Kittle was no longer on the roster. So we'll easily fix that by bringing in Gary Ward instead. He is on the roster. So Gary Ward will come on. The pinch hit. Gary Ward. We'll get the numbers on Ward. Both on the replay and on the real season. On the real season, Ward was hitting where he hit 248, 16 homers, 78 driven in. On the replays, hitting 209, 8 homers, 30 driven in. He's not exactly been living up to his actual season, that's for sure. Maybe a chance to get a base hit here. Get him started. 5-11. It's a ballpark single check. It's only a 1-7. But he gets the base hit, so a pinch hit single for Gary Ward. That puts runners at first and second with one out for Wayne Tollison. But there's just not much left on the Yankee bench to use as a pinch hitter. These are the bench players remaining for the Yankees. They have Rick Cerrone, Henry Cotto, Paul Zuvella, and Jeff Moronco. Not exactly household names, so they're going to stick with Tollison in this spot. 1-11, and he pops it up to Gaetti, 2 down. But that's just lack of choices there. That's all that is. So we go to Ricky. Ricky might be the last out of the game, possibly. And it is technically a clutch situation with the runner at second, so Ricky will lose these hits. 110, 2-5, and 2-6. He might not lose that number, but he'll lose these hits. So Ricky, 4-9, and that's a ground ball to second. Newman throws him out, and that's the ball game. Twins win it pretty comfortably by the score of 7-2 over the Yankees. And we'll get to the box score, wrap this up, and get you set for tomorrow. As the Yankees fall, and that's going to hurt them even further. They're just in a free fall as far as trying to catch the Brewers. That may be a pipe dream at this point. So 7 runs, 9 hits, and no errors for the Twins. 2 runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors for the Yankees. Berenguer goes 2 innings, gives up 2 hits, nothing else, and 3 strikeouts. Winning pitcher is Niekro. He is now 4-5. Loser is John. He's 4-5. And so with the victory, Twins go to 40-44. Yankees drop to 46-38. So as we turn the page for tomorrow's game, we will go to the Mistake by the Lake. It'll be the Kansas City Royals taking on the Cleveland Indians. It'll be game 571. And there's some guy named Ritter that gets called up for Cleveland out of the bullpen. I got to go pull him from the minor leagues. I've never heard of the guy. But I looked at the box score, and he actually pitched in this game he was on the Cleveland roster, I should say. So Ritter, the pitcher, and I'm not sure who got sent down, but he's going to be coming on for the Indians in that game. Ken Schramm will start against Mark Gubiza. So that's going to do it from here. Yankee Stadium again, final score 7-2 Twins. Winning pitcher Niekro, losing pitcher Tommy John. So hope you all have a great Tuesday, whatever you have planned for yourself. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.